Dr. Ronaldo Ortiz Jr., they are being accused of being a medical terrorist. It's a Texas I swear to God, I said this right up before the show. Anesthesiologist. They are being accused of tampering with IV bags at the Dallas Surgical Facility. Now,
was he poking holes in it like they used to do with condoms back in the day?
So apparently he took one of the tainted IV bags home to rehydrate during an illness and suffered take this back. So apparently what this guy would do was he would just fill them with a bunch of other drugs that weren't supposed to be in there, and then these people kept on getting sick and dying. So there was this person, Dr. Melanie Casper. They took one of the tainted IV bags home to rehydrate during an illness, and then they suffered a fatal heart attack because the bags were found to contain booby
Oh, this is great.
McCain. Booby McCain. It's called booby
What's
McCain.
the name of the guy
A drug
again?
used to treat local pain.
Oh, what's the name of the guy before I look at booby McCain, which is like, I guess just makes tits numb?
Ronaldo Ortiz Jr. So indeed, this man was putting booby McCain in these things. And you know what they're called? They called them poison bombs.
Yes, poison bombs.
And that explained why
scary.
all of these patients were suddenly dying. So this is a real-time, real-life Dr. Harold Shipman. Obviously, he may have killed a lot more, but he was recently charged.
I wonder why, instead of calling him like murderer or serial killer, I wonder why they go with medical terrorist. Maybe it's because there's no way to tell, like maybe because it goes in such a wide range of people. He doesn't look very happy.
No, he doesn't. And the guy seems to be a total psychopath. In 2016, he had to spend 25 days in jail because he shot his neighbor's dog with a pellet gun.
Boobificaine.
It is boobificaine.
I mean, I
don't know how else to say it.
Boobificaine, I don't know. But I will say it ain't good. But I also find it interesting that you would go that far to cause, Maybe that's why it is you'd consider it medical terrorism, because just that idea of the planning of it and how you go through this process and you don't even, it's not like with Harold Shipman, that's why his story in it being so boring was that it was very practical, is that he would go in, he would insinuate himself with the family, he'd get a hold of their insurance paperwork, and he'd get himself included on that. So he'd at least get like a payout, and then he'd see his victim as he was murdering them. And
this guy,
he'd know what he was doing. Where this is way more scattershot and way more sort of like the hospital version of Ted Kaczynski. But I wonder what the purpose of it is.
So apparently this guy was so freaking stupid about it, because obviously there's cameras everywhere. Video shows Ortiz placing an IV bag on a warmer side of an operation room.
Well,
right?
I guess they have to warm it up.
Yes.
They have to go and they have to pop it in the microwave?
Like a burrito? I don't know what happens. But apparently before placing the bag in the warmer, Ortiz seemed to look around like he was about to commit a heinous act of murder. And then from a paper folder, he took out another bag, and then he put that around a person's arm.
He walked in like it was an office prank where he's like, just here filing paperwork, and you know how I have my squishy liquid paperwork.
If you are a doctor and you are having really dark thoughts about killing patients, because I could totally understand. It's the same way that UPS drivers, if they see a bag, if they see a box,
still
they want
with
to take
rage.
it, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you just have to take the responsibility for yourself and retire.
Well, apparently, one reason that is being posited is that he got disciplined by the hospital, and he was showing them
his revenge.
And that's the reason why, which is just ain't good, man. Because again, this doesn't help anything. And if you, how do I say this? Steal money. If you are going, that is my recommendation. If you want revenge against an establishment, go ahead and don't kill other people. Don't bring other people into it.
They had nothing to do with it.
They had nothing to deal with it. Steal drugs. Steal drugs and fence them, right? Sell those drugs. Or just straight up steal money. Or, you know what I do? Go into the commissary, steal meat.
Steal some meat, steal some jello, have fun with it. Yeah, don't go killing random patients, please, God.
Not anymore. Not in this economy.
Also,
because we need these workers. Okay? And every time you kill one of these patients, all you're doing is making the delays at the airport even longer.
Absolutely. And just lastly, in food and medical advice, don't put chicken in NyQuil. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
what's happening with this? Is this real? Are people actually doing this?
This is an issue, right? Where Is it real? I don't fucking know. I just remember this. So there's some form of TikTok trend. I don't even know if it is, because the problem is that a lot of times what you'll notice, I don't mean to incite anybody that works in the journalistic field. Love each one of you. Think everything you do is incredible.
Not everything.
But it seems to be recently, they'll say, new TikTok trend, and then you look into it and it's been like
8 people.
Maybe, or literally 100 people in a sea of a billion, right? And then they'll be like, it's this trend. So I don't know if it's real or not. And it's basically because they're terrified of getting fired, because Prince is if it's not dead, it is about to be dead, and they are trying to grab whatever sticks, right? And this is how they do it.
It's unfortunate.
But according to this, there is a TikTok trend of people cooking chicken in NyQuil. Now, I don't know if this is actually happening, but it is. They say the main problem of it, if you do that, is that the fumes from it are actually extremely deadly.
Well, then why are we taking NyQuil in the first place?
Well, it's because it's awesome. And you just chug that shit. It's real nice.
You can't even get it anymore. I never robo-tripped. There's alcohol exists.
But you
robo-tripped? No, I never did.
I did in college a couple times. It really just hurts.
Actually, when I was 3 years old, I slammed a bunch of Triametic.
Triametic.
It was awesome. Because it was the orange one.
Remembers. You don't remember that?
Oh, Triametic was fantastic.
Triametic.
Indeed, and then you need to get a medic after you slam a whole bottle of it. But I just slept for like 3 days, and it was like, that is the beginning of a future that that I will have. Give me 9 years.
It's like when Tiger Woods first when his father first taped the golf clubs to his hand.
Yeah.
This is my dream.
Wow.
But they're saying, don't do that.
So don't do that.
And so, I don't know if it's real or not. I just also want to remind you is that when you see something that seems to dead make sense and be completely real that is on a social media post, you really are going to want to maybe get a secondary source about whether or not it's real or not. Because if you I see these commercials saying, learn from TikTok, do not learn from TikTok.
It's really
don't learn from us. Like, I mean it.
No.
Go do your own. That I even hate. Even the term "do your own research" is fuck. Go to like a place where it's really hard to read the articles. Like go to like go one of those like education, like a real academic journal. Go there and guess what?
Library.
Even they're wrong sometimes. Even they're fucking because they're just people writing fucking essays with other old books. So you need to read multiple things and then sometimes talk to somebody who knows what the fuck it is that they're talking about.
Well, absolutely.
I'm just saying you might just want
articles.
Just take a shot at it. Let's take a shot at several sources instead of me like, I learned from TikTok. You learn nothing. It's a Chinese propaganda machine.
Well, did you hear about this guy, Callum Carlisle?
Which one?
He's a 25-year-old man, and he was using an optical illusion device.
Oh, okay.
And apparently the device makes like things look bigger. So naturally, because he's a man, he put it on his penis.
Well, you see, it's fun because,
but it didn't work out for him.
Well, this is the thing, man. Is that we're all like, now that you're up and you got put in the stable too, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I'm with my beautiful wife, right, and I have a mind to do like a funny bit, right? She's just like, like, oh, that's funny, but like,
that's for us.
You're like embarrassing me, you're embarrassing me, but it's a little bit. But it's again, that's me. It's too late for you, right?
Right.
But this guy seems to be very similar. His name's Callum Carlisle, and
Great
so
name.
he's a mechanic. He's in Scotland, and he thought it'd be really funny to put his penis on this thing that would make it bigger. And he showed it was like this camera, and it showed it, and the penis was bigger. And it was like, oh, and then what? And his girlfriend was like, I can't take you anywhere. Right?
It's kind of funny, yeah.
But it turned out it projected into a room filled with children.
Yeah, it was. He did not know. To his credit, he didn't know that.
And then he is suitably embarrassed looking. If you see the picture of the arrest where his head is in his hands, he is not happy.
No, he's not. And I don't think he would have ever done this had he known there was a room full of 15-year-old schoolgirls.
Maybe not.
Yes, he was alone in a room, and then there was a camera. It was called Camera Obscura. And with his girlfriend, well, they say he was alone, but then also they say it was with his girlfriend. So I don't freaking know. Maybe they're really that connected.
I think he's currently single.
I see.
I think that spiritually he is very alone.